Research, my friends, is this broadening of the mind that leads to unraveling the mysteries of nature, seeing what others have not yet seen, and finding plausibly impossible solutions to the problems faced by the mankind. The need of the day for our country is to strengthen our national and institutional focus on research for a better India and a better world. The national focus on research started on a big scale when President Franklin D. Roosevelt raised an important issue with Dr. Vannevar Bush, who was at that time head of the Office of Research under Roosevelt's administration. He raised this in his letter dated November 17, 1944. Roosevelt asked, and I quote him, whether the information, the techniques, and the research experience developed by the thousands of scientists during the wartime should be used in the days of peace ahead for the improvement of the national health, the creation of new enterprises bringing new jobs, and for the betterment of national standard of living, unquote. President Roosevelt wanted the recommendations of Dr. Vannevar Bush on how to actionize his insightful questions. Dr. Vannevar Bush's answer to President Roosevelt's letter was a monumental report titled Science, the Endless Frontier. He sent it to the President on July 5, 1945. It led to the formation of the National Science Foundation in the U.S., to the U.S. leadership in science and engineering research productivity, to the U.S. leadership in space explorations, to the uninterrupted U.S. leadership in research funding, to the research success of the U.S. universities, laboratories, and corporations in science and technology, and consequently made the U.S. a superpower. Research in universities, laboratories, libraries, and companies is born from such curiosity, imagination, Socratic questioning, daring, and humility. Research effort needs the audacity, daring, unbridled imagination, and the ability not to be cowed down by failures. Alan Turing, perhaps the most impactful computer scientist, once said, and I quote him, "Those who can imagine anything can create the impossible," unquote. Research is also about not feeling defeated by failures, learning from those failures, avoiding those mistakes in the future, and constantly improving. Research in economics and social sciences guide us to understand how science and technology translate into prosperity, justice, equity, freedom, and dignity. The research in humanities reminds us that knowledge must always serve an ethical purpose. Let's commit ourselves as a nation and as a part of mankind to nurturing ecosystems of research. Such nurturing requires us to make this country an aspirational, meritocratic, competitive, welcoming, exciting, comfortable, rewarding, and enjoyable place for researchers and their families among our young scientists, engineers, economists, mathematicians, and humanists. It is our sacred duty to ensure that these role models find a highly competitive intellectual environment that reveres hierarchy of ideas rather than hierarchy of titles and offices.